Hey everybody, Toys of Arkham here, back with another review. This is a 1/6 scale Tony Soprano figure, and it is from a company called Black 8 Toys. So I woke up this morning and got myself a figure. So just a little reference obviously to the opening theme song of the Sopranos series. I have to say I'm a huge fan of the Sopranos. In fact, I've gone back and watched the first 3 episodes recently just in anticipation of this figure. I hadn't heard much about Black 8 Toys before, and I hadn't heard much about this release. I saw it come up on my Instagram feed recently, and KG Hobby, which is a website that I buy frequently from, had it in stock and ready to ship. So it was at a reasonable price, so I went for it. First thing we'll look at is the box, and you can see the image here of the now deceased James Gandolfini, who played Tony Soprano, and there seems to be like bullet holes behind his head there. It's a kind of a green, almost pastel artwork, and at first, to be honest, I thought, geez, this might be an official product. It does say Sopranos on it, and there's no, working around the name like they usually do, like Mob Boss or some generic name they give these figures that aren't official, but they just have gone ahead and said Sopranos on it, and they've used the actual Sopranos logo. So very bold of Black 8, considering this isn't an officially licensed product. And Black 8 themselves, I don't know anything about them. Never had any figures from them at all. So box is quite thin. It is a pretty decent grade of cardboard that's used on this, to be fair to them, and it was packed in very well. I won't bore you with that. The inside of it's just styrofoam, foam. I can barely speak after the day's work I've had. This is all boring stuff. Pause if you want. Right, let's get on to what this figure comes with. So, pretty decent sculpt on the hands. So, pair of open hands, fist, and this hand has a slight opening in it, as does this one actually. So, that would hold something if you wish. This is more like for a gun, which it comes with. So, I don't know the precise name of this pistol, but it seems to have an attachment kind of silencer on it. Nice gunbolt metal dry brush type paint job on it, and it looks pretty realistic. It's not metal, it is plastic. And then finally it comes with this glass of maybe bourbon or whiskey. It does look quite brown there, but in hand it looks more orange, so it's not quite a hot chocolate there. It's probably more whiskey. Sorry, it does come with a stand, and also the last accessory is the cigar that he's holding here in his hand. But we'll have a closer look at that when we have a look at the figure itself. So yeah, you can see that on the base they have printed a decal and stuck it on the kind of basic Hot Toys type stand, and it has the Sopranos logo on it. So while we're here, we'll look at his shoes. They are, I suppose, patent leather type shoes. At least they're supposed to be. They're plastic with a gloss on them. We have these baggy enough pleated suit trousers. They're not sitting particularly well on him here because I just took them out of the box. I haven't really fussed around with them too much, and they're catching on the crotch grabber, but I can see they have potential to sit well on him. It has the fake leather belt and metal belt buckle on it. And then this is a shirt that you would have seen him wear, or at least a variation of it. I can't tell you what episode or when specifically he wore this, but I think we could all recognize that is something that he would have worn. And then the leather jacket is very nice. We all fear these leather jackets deteriorating over time. That's the risk we take when we buy these figures. We know these things can happen, but if you keep your figures in a fairly dry and neutral climate and environment away from dampness and moisture, they should be fine. I've had mine, my oldest figure is probably 5-6 years, and I haven't seen much deterioration on any of the clothing, so I mean, I'm happy enough to take the risk on these. There is one accessory I forgot to show you actually, and it is this Rolex. I don't know why it's not focusing. There it is. And that's his Rolex watch, and that's actually metal. So really nice. It doesn't have a clasp, but I presume if you take the hand off, it will fit perfectly. So let's go back to this. So the figure has, you know, the double bend elbows, pretty decent articulation. But what I noticed just before we focus on the sculpt itself is that the sculpt seems to be fused to this, I suppose, separated chest piece that kind of has hair on it, or obviously fake hair, but it's fused here like solid glue. And unfortunately, the tone of skin doesn't match. It almost looks like he's wearing a t-shirt. But when you move his head from left to right, it doesn't independently move from this. It's actually stuck to it. So it's actually this joint here that moves with the head turning side to side. So I don't know if you can see that. You see the whole chest there moves with you moving his head. So you don't actually get a full turn on his head left and right, which in my experience of these figures, I've never come across that. So that's a bit strange. The body is soft. It's a fat suit, I presume, underneath there, or else it's just the body that is soft, but certainly it's soft to touch. But look, the prevailing aspect of this and the I suppose the high point of the figure has to be the face sculpt. Let me see. There's no doubt that that looks like James Gandolfini. It really is an impressive sculpt and an impressive expression. It's not a blank expression. You can see he has a look like, you just screwed me over, you owe me money, you're gonna pay for that. You know, he has seriously bad intentions. Like if you just dip his head a little bit and look through his eyes there, he's looking peed off. And his hair is receding, as he was later in the show. As the seasons progressed, he did gain weight, looked bigger, his hair kind of became more receding on his hair, in his head. So the hair itself is sculpted quite nicely. There's nothing spectacular about it, but it is quite nice. I have to say I am slightly disappointed by, see if I can get better lighting here. I'm slightly disappointed by the neck being fused like that. There might be a way of going over that with a brush and just matching it up a bit better, but it is a completely different texture. So even if you have managed to get the paint, the actual paint that they use on his face, it would be, I suppose, difficult to apply it and get it perfectly well on. I suppose you could fasten up his neck a bit more and hide it, but that's not the way he wore his shirts. So it's a difficult one to fix, or you could just ignore it, I suppose, and just get on with it. But so I'm just tilting his head up to get a better idea of the sculpt here. Yeah, no, there's no doubt there's a great likeness there to him. I really enjoy this show. This guy is such a complicated character, and I think it's the pinnacle of television even after all these years. Other than Breaking Bad, I think it and Breaking Bad is, hang on, I'll get that doorbell and I'll be back to you in a second. Sorry, had to unfortunately relocate. So just to wrap up really with my final thoughts, really love the figure, has a great overall presence about him. He's tall, he's robust, he's big, he definitely has that intimidating Tony Soprano presence about him. Definitely has the likeness going on. Sorry the lighting isn't as good as it was downstairs, but I have to make do when the children interfere. And yeah, just the sculpt is excellent, really like it. Of course, the only downside is the transition from the neck to the body, but that is what it is. Hope you enjoyed the review. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. See you guys.